Hi, Phil here for SMC. Today I'd like to talk to you about the new LowRider Spec motors. The motors have just been released, and we've had quite a few questions about how to set them up, how to prepare them for the track. The motor itself is nice and small, very lightweight. This is the 17.5 version. The motor has a lot of kV, meaning that it tends to use a little bit lower timing and tends to need to be geared a little bit lower as well. By lower timing, I don't really tend to look at the timing range. I tend more to look at the amp draw, and I'll show you that here on a modalizer. And I also have a, can you see it? SkyRC or G-Force motor analyzer, and I'll show you what the difference between the two is when we set them up. Now, I've set this 17.5 up for a good start point. For me is 3 amps of draw on a modalizer, and on my modalizer tests I'm using a equivalent of a 1S power supply. Just let me hook this up and I'll show you the results. I've already done the timing to save messing about setting up the timing, playing with it a little bit here, a little bit there, just to get it exactly right. So let's run this up. Full motor test is on. And let's go back to the main screen. And as I said, I'm looking for, I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, I'm looking for 3 amps, which is the current draw here at the bottom. And on this motor, that gives 43 degrees of end-bell timing with a deviation in this sensor board of 1.1, a symmetry of 0, and if you want to look a little bit deeper into it, we can look at the sensor angles of 44.7, 43.3, and 42.1. Now, this is exactly how I would start with this motor on track, and I would gear it exactly as I would gear any current motor, except I would probably start with 1 tooth less on the pinion just to give myself a right idea. And then I'm going to be checking temperatures, and as far as temperatures are concerned, I don't want to be measuring here or here or here. These are a bit useless. Measuring the stator isn't too bad, but if you have a fan on it, you'll see that this motor cools down incredibly fast. Typically what I want to do is I want to measure deep inside. I want to catch the coils or even the rotor itself. So I want to go inside with my temp gun and measure deep inside the motor. If somebody tells me they're measuring the back of the motor on the sensor board, I don't even want to know the numbers. They're not really useful to anybody. So let's just drag over this motor analyzer. It's plugged into a regular 2S pack here. Let's plug it into sensor board. Excuse my spaghetti mess of wires here. Plug it onto the B, onto the C, and let's do the amperage check. Oops. As you can see, I'm not particularly great with this. Press start. And now we turn it up to full draw. We're at 8 volts and 3.5 amps. And if we want to see what the timing looks like, oops, on this, let's go into motor timing, press the start, let it run up. Takes a little bit longer than the modalizer. And there it is done. So that's giving us an average timing of 40 degrees on here, 38, 38, 45, and again 40, 38, 38, 45. If we look at the modalizer numbers, where we see 44.7, 43.3, and 42.1 versus 38, 38, 45. I don't really know how much I trust the SkyRC motor analyzer. I know a lot of people have it. This is why I'm showing it. I tend to trust and use the Motorizer to set up my motors. But that's a typical way that we set them up. That'll give you a nice comparison of what the two of them look like. On-track performance has been the feedback has been borderline incredible. We're very pleased with people's response to the motor, and people have been very, very pleased with its performance. So if you have any other questions, please get in touch with us and we'll answer them. We will assign a suggested starting amp draw and a suggested starting gearing for the 17.5, 21.5, 13.5 on the website under the specific motor, so that info will be readily available and will be easy for you guys to find. And maybe we even make a chart on the main page or on the main motor page, so that all that info is in one shot. You can do a screenshot, keep it in your phone, and have it for easy reference. Thanks, I hope that was helpful, and I'll speak to you all again soon.